Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to share this article with you. I generally go through the news every day, have a look and see if there's anything there. I think this is just so I've shown you where it comes from. The news feed, you get on your computer. Anyway, moving on. A mum who killed 3 kids has jail sentence slashed. Okay. A mother who confessed to drowning her 3 children by deliberately driving her car into a Melbourne lake has had her jail sentence slashed by more than 8 years. Akon Gawad, 38, was last year sentenced in the Victorian Supreme Court to at least 20 years jail after pleading guilty to the infanticide of 1-year-old son Boel and murders of 4-year-old twins Hanga and Madit. The Sudanese refugee also pleaded guilty to the attempted murder of a 6-year-old daughter, Alul, so fucking 4 kids, okay, who was pulled from the wreckage and survived the crash into the Windermere Lake Val Lake in April. Gawad, who arrived in Australia as a Sudanese refugee, along with her 4 children, and who knows how much money that has cost the Australian public. I mean, seriously, think about it, guys. This woman can claim, the single parent fucking thing from Centrelink, and she's getting payment for 4 children. That would be a really nice paycheck every 2 weeks. She would be on some really good money, okay, really good money in Centrelink. So she wouldn't have be much to be fucking unhappy about out in the Western world, other than she's missing the husband, I suppose, or whatever. Anyway, moving on. While handing down his sentence, and they said, did you watch this? Out of extreme desperation, right? I don't understand. Explain that extreme desperation. Your life was in turmoil. Well, how is it in turmoil? You've been brought to a free country with all your children. You've been given free housing. You've been given those Centrelink payments. Explain to me what is in turmoil, or explain to me what the turmoil is. You know what I mean? Because it's a good wicket, guys. You get on that with 4 kids, and trust me, that's a really good paycheck every. So anyway, for her, your life was in my opinion, you were shocked by what you did, but there was nothing involuntary about your actions. Justin Lazary said Gawad's life in Sudan had been moving to Australia caused her to suffer post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, I say we should have just left her there. She shouldn't have been suffering that post-traumatic stress disorder. She should have just stayed in Sudan. What do you reckon, guys? There's no reason to bring her over to Australia where she can get the Centrelink with 4 kids. Anyway, you watched your husband being shot to death. Well, we don't know that for a fact. Before being repeatedly raped until you were unconscious. Well, we don't know that either. That's just her words, and, who knows what the fuck really happened. In some respect, this sentence is inadequate, but at the same time excessive for what you have been through. So the judge is saying it's excessive. 20 years jail for killing 4 fucking children is excessive because you were, raped and you watched your husband being shot to death in another country. Right? This was an horrendous crime on innocent children. It was a total betrayal of trust. Gawad faces possible deportation at the end of her prison sentence. Man, fuck that shit. Just send her back now. Why are we paying for her jail sentence for fucking 20 years? All right? Why? It's fucking just a joke. It really is. It's an absolute joke. It's a travesty for the kids that died. It's a travesty for what she's done. The community, of course, the Sudanese community gathered or rallied around the 35-year-old, held vigils for the slain children and raised money to cover funeral costs. 4 months later, Gawad was charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder. Fucking 4 kids. She was remanded in custody. You think you could fucking learn after 3 and keep your legs closed, wouldn't you? Custody, and in December 2015 she cried and begged a magistrate to be let go to home, but bail was refused. Oh my gosh, how surprising. CCTV footage was played in court that showed her car driving past the lake long before she drove into it. The security cameras captured the vehicle driving past the lake at least 5 times before it was quickly turned, mounted the curb and drove into the water. Dozens of witnesses gave evidence against Gawad, but that's not good enough. Dozens of witnesses isn't good enough, okay? It's not good enough. You need a signed confession by her, and you need it filmed, and you need it witnessed. And even then it's probably not good enough, right? Including a collision investigator who said the car was deliberately driven into the water. Reenactment showed a driver who had needed to turn the steering wheel 3 times to get into the water. So it was a deliberate act to kill your children. Now, because she is a Sudanese refugee, brought in by the government, female, black, all the rest of it, she crosses all the fucking ticks, all right, we'll give her 8 years less. Well, 20 years is just too much. She's going to suffer too much. And, like, it's a fucking joke. You should send them all back. Just send them all back. It's as simple as fucking that. I mean, she's a deliberate murderer. She's tried to kill she's killed 3 of her kids and tried to kill the 4th one. So 4 kids she's tried to kill. And they want to give her less time, all right, because they feel sorry for her. All right, she's been through a lot. She was raped and her husband was murdered. So therefore, really, she should be able just to go home, okay? Don't worry about the kids, it's fine. We'll just send her home. She's a good girl. All right, look, I just wanted to share that bit of madness with you. That's the PC culture in Melbourne, Australia. See you, boys.